Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. As always, thank you for joining me. If you could, hit that subscribe button down below because we need a lot more subscribers and we got to get 4,000 watch hours. But I'll talk about that in another video. This right here is your week in review. Now, there's been a lot of news this week. Some good news, some bad news. Mostly bad news, of course, because that's what sells. But to start the week off, we had a really sad event. A tragic thing happened where Dolores O'Riordan of the Cranberries passed away at 46. She was in London to record a video, or not a video, but an album. And unfortunately, she passed away in her hotel room and she was found unresponsive on Monday the 15th at the age of 46. So that was a big tragic event. There's not been much talk about what was the cause of death. They just say it wasn't suspicious. And that you won't know more on the cause of death of the Cranberry lead singer until about April or so of this year. So I guess we'll look to see what the results are of that. Also in music news, it came out that Tom Petty and the cause of death for Tom Petty was an accidental overdose. So it wasn't like he was purposely trying to kill himself or anything, but apparently a combination of factors and stuff and of medications, I guess. And apparently that's what took the life of singer and musician Tom Petty, which was a big loss to the music world as well. So we find out that one star from the 90s has passed away, and that they found out the cause of death from an icon in Tom Petty from decades long of putting out music and stuff. Anyhow, moving on. The next thing I need to talk about here is the flu. We are at epidemic proportions here when it comes to the way the flu is going this year. That's according to the CDC. We've had 30 children have passed away, which is a lot lower than it could have been, but a lot higher than it should be. But the flu is really bad this year in Dallas County. I just read up in Dallas County, they've had 40 deaths, including 2 that happened recently. This flu is nothing to joke with, people. If you feel like you're coming down with something, get to the doctor. They can, if you get there quick enough, they can give you Tamiflu, things like that to help, kill the virus and stuff. And, take care of yourself. But main thing, wash your hands and don't get around people if you have the flu. If you're sick, stay home. I understand that people got to work and things like that, but at the end of the day, if you have the flu, you need to stay home, because having the flu, and you go out you go out to the store, you go out to work or whatever, and all you're going to do is spread that to other people, and that just makes the epidemic of it even worse. We've had lots of deaths in this country from this particular flu. Many of them children. Many of them, quite a few elderly people have passed away as well. This is something that's not going away anytime soon. The CDC still says you can get your flu shot. Even if you haven't had it yet, you may not get full protection, but it'll be better than nothing. It can still prevent you from getting the flu. And if you happen to come down with one of the flus that wasn't involved, it at least can have your body prepared to fight a flu, such as the ones that are going around that are actually causing people to die. So this isn't a joke. The flu is no joke, people. This flu is taking lives, and it ain't playing. So get out there, get your flu shot, keep your hands washed. My suggestion is to stay away from people who you know are sick, and if you're sick, stay home. As well, wash your hands. Keep your hands washed. At all times. Wash your hands as much as you can. Use hand sanitizer as you can. Do everything you have to. But, try to prevent yourself from getting the flu. I'm not trying to be an alarmist. I'm just saying that it seems like everybody's getting the damn flu, and it's spreading like wildfire everywhere, and that's according to the CDC. Now, the CDC has said in the last week or two that they do believe that this particular flu season has reached its peak, and that we're at the peak part of the flu season, and so it should start tapering off in the near future. They're saying that because of how early the flu season started this year and everything. So we'll see how that goes. Also in the news, You've got the fact that apparently Donald Trump had an affair with porn star Stormy Daniels back in 2006, a year after his son was born to with his wife Melania. And they hadn't been married all that long after he did that, apparently, or by the time he had this affair either. So I'm not going to judge him for that. It's not my place to judge. We've had presidents in the past who've had affairs and everything, and this didn't happen while he was president. Now it does put evangelicals, I think, in a weird spot. It does make them kind of hypocritical, where they're sitting there telling people they can't have sex outside of marriage, that gay people are so bad because of this and that, yet they elected a man who had an affair. And not only did he have an affair, he paid her off through a shell company, basically, to to get her to shut up and not say anything. The thing is, she had already done an interview about it with In Touch magazine in 2011, and that's where all this information is coming from. Also in the news, the shutdown. Of course, the shutdown happened about 6 or so hours ago, almost 7 hours ago now. At least East Coast time. Democrats and Republicans couldn't find a solution between how to, do DACA and how to get a continuing resolution across. And I don't understand. I really don't. This hurts a lot of people. Military personnel will go without pay, or at least could. Some, operations will still continue, but their pay will be delayed. That not only hurts the people in the field, but it hurts their families back home. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers will be furloughed. Places like the Smithsonian and all the national parks, national monuments, they'll all be closed to the public. And people won't be getting paid. Not only that, the brinksmanship of not paying our bills and stuff, could lead to another downgrade, in our credit if we continue to have this problem. But that's the situation we find ourselves in. Congress is refusing to, get it done. But of course, Congress did have a bipartisan thing that took care of DACA, or solved DACA for a little while anyway, and gave us a 4-week continuing resolution. And that was shot down by Donald Trump. So at the end of the day, the reason we find ourselves here isn't necessarily Congress, because Congress did try, but the president shot it down. Now here's the thing. Congress should have fucking passed the thing anyway. They should have passed the bill they took to him that he shot down. That way it would have been out of their hands and it would have been Donald Trump's fault. It could have all been Donald Trump. But instead, they just didn't pass anything. And so now they're sitting here spending the weekend trying to figure out if they can figure out a way to pass a bill by the end of the weekend to get the government back open by Monday. That way it doesn't affect too many people. If you ask me, this is just a stupid thing. It could have been completely avoided. Donald Trump could have gone ahead and supported the bill that both Republican and Democratic parties both put out, and he could have shown his support for it. They could have passed it, and they should have passed it anyway and sent it to him. Because at the end of the day, I don't think Donald Trump would have vetoed it. I don't think he would have. I think he would have signed the bill that was sent to him. I think we're giving him far too much credit here. I think you just should have sent him the bill. He probably would have signed it, because Donald Trump likes to sign things, and he needs to win. He's had one win in his entire first year in the White House, and he's looking for a win. And this right here, getting DACA through would play really well into his hands going into the midterm elections. I guarantee you, he doesn't want to be looked at as somebody who is that hateful to people. You got a lot of people that are complaining, oh, they're Democrats. They're worried. The Democrats are worried about illegals. Wah, wah, wah. Well, these people were brought here as children against their will. We educated them. They've been working in this country. No legal problems. They bust their butts. They're not even allowed to have, government assistance and shit like that. These people have to bust their ass. And Donald Trump doesn't care. The Republican Party doesn't care. And when it comes down to it, I don't think the Democrats really in Congress really care either. I think the Democratic supporters do. I don't think most of the Democrats in Congress do, or we would have found a compromise and fixed it. Many people see compromise as a bad word. It's like the new four-letter word. But when America has been at her best, we have been compromising between the left and the right. And at the end of the day, as I learned a long time ago, if both sides are angry, then the deal was a good deal. Because that means not everybody got all the crazy shit they wanted. So, that said, that's what's going on. We've got a shutdown going on. Many of people could be without their paychecks in the near future. And many of them just aren't going to get to go to work. And so, I guess they're getting a vacation, but of course it's an unpaid vacation. So it puts them in a really bad situation. So let's get this fixed quickly. And Donald Trump, please sign whatever bill comes to you. We can't be staying shut down long term. It does nothing but hurt America, and it hurts Americans. And so, that's what, we've got going on this week. But that's all we've got going on. That's your week in review here at the Big Ranch Show. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Anyhow, I'll see you down the road.